answer's just been so distant. Not gone, just distant. Everyone's kind of seen distant. My whole experience on Grand Isle has just been distant after that night in the waves. I was just sitting here. Then slowly I began moving out into the water and swimming, and swimming, and swimming, and swimming, and I was really free for the first time, able to realize that I'm here by my own power. I float in this water by my own strength. And that knowledge terrified me, thinking, am I too far? It is a long way to shore. Are there animals here? There might be. Is the water deep? It's cold. Should I really be here? But then it subsides, and I realize this is where I want to be. I am here, and I am in control. For the very first time, I am in control. I am able to determine every part of my being, and it is the most wonderful experience anyone has ever had, and the most wonderful experience anyone could have. Complete and utter freedom. This distance is real as well. The others on the beach, standing in the sand, their games, they no longer interest me. It seems that the swimming has taken over any interest I could have or do have, and it is wonderful. I don't really need others now because I have myself, yet obviously I do need others. Robert, for one, helped me with swimming, and my husband, I'm not sure I could leave him, only if out of habit. Yet I do wish to be part of something. I'm just not sure what. Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Pontelliers, and if you thought last scene's swimming action was so intense, you've seen nothing yet, cause we've got a major drama alert, people. Specifically, I'm talking about Mr. and Miss Pontellier having disagreements over where Miss Pontellier should sleep.
And then she had the audacity to just frolic in the water? She doesn't even know how to swim. Who does she think she is? Women aren't meant to swim in the water. They're meant to sit on the sand with their husbands and their children. Anyways, when I went back to the house or thing last night, she was just sitting there outside in the cold, harsh weather. I mean, she's not even meant to do it. She was just sitting there with no blanket or anything. She'll die of the yellow fever. Now she'll wake up way past noon, forget everyone who's ever in her life, forget me, and just sit there like she has nothing else to do. Women these days, I tell you. But even worse than that is Edna. At least Robert was there to give her company. Who knows, if he wasn't even there, she would have just ran off into who knows where. Probably New York or some place where I would never go after her. Anyways, let's hope he can talk some sense into Edna. My dear wife, what's happening to you?
You know what? My husband just came and woke me up from a perfectly fine time on the hammock. I would be mad about it too, if I had something to be mad about. But no, I'm not mad at all. I am perfectly happy to just sit out here, all by myself, minding my own business. Oh, he just sits there on that porch, drinking and smoking and all of this. And it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. That's what men do. That is who my husband is, and I love him. I love him so dearly. And that night with Robert, well, waiting for me was nice and sweet of him. But now he's gone, and I have only my dearest husband to keep me company. What a beautiful night here on Grand Isle. What a wonderful time. Boy, don't I just live a wonderful, wonderful life.
So, I went to go tell Edna today about my trip to Mexico, and I have to admit, her reaction was much worse than I thought. I thought that she would accept it and just wish me on, but instead she became very, very, very clingy with me. She was saying things like, I don't understand how you could do this. I thought, why are you leaving me? Why am I just finding out about it? And it's nothing against her at all, She's a great friend, but I just feel that it's my life too, and I cannot put my life on hold for her. I need to do this trip, and I'm sorry, Edna, but like I'll try. I told her I'll try and write to her. I've told a lot of people that, and I plan on keeping that promise. But she didn't really seem to care. She doesn't understand. It's my life as well. I cannot continually put my life on hold for her. I tried to explain. I tried multiple times to explain to her, and all it appeared to do was make the situation worse. I don't know. I mean, I thought she would take it a bit better, but I guess I can kind of see how she'd be upset. But we've talked about this, and we're nothing more than friends right now, and I just don't really understand that. So I thought I'd be fine with going to Mexico, and everyone else seemed supportive. But apparently, me telling her right now and this late into the process was blasphemy and was the worst thing I could possibly do, and I just don't really understand why. I mean, my life, I care about her deeply, but it's my life, and I can't just continually hold myself back from other experiences. I need to go out into the world and like find who I am. And Edna, I'm sorry. I know you're upset, and I know it was a bad conversation, but I will try and write to you, and I hope you're the best for the future. See you later.
That whole Robert fiasco, the next thing this crazy house needs is the diva himself, Adele.
So I'm like okay with taking care of Edna's kids for like 5 minutes, but for taking care of them for a whole day, that's extra. So the thing is that Edna needs to understand that not only are her kids her responsibility, but they are not mine, and when they are naughty, like Edney was, then he needs to be punished, not be like sued to sleep like she sued him to sleep. Because after I said, oh, he's been bad, and he's been like doing bad things, just sued him to sleep. You know what, Edna? You gotta stop spending time with Robert, and you gotta stop doing everything like that, because it's distressing, it's annoying, and you're ignoring your children. It's parental abuse. Parental abuse. Besides that, me and Edna have really recently been bonding, and I really think that we're gonna have a great relationship in the end. That is, if she doesn't continue to ignore her children, and she gets away from that Robert boy. Ooh, he's gross.
With Robert gone and Mr. Pontellier nowhere to be seen, Edna deteriorates even further. What is she up to with Adele?
Well, at least that singing stopped, and the party's all done. Dispatched all of the servants and the music, and all of the guests have left my house. Well, except for one. Oh, man. He caught me in a silly mistake. I was talking about cleaning the house before leaving, and he was like, but what about the upstairs? And on the inside, I'm like, dang, I forgot about the upstairs. But on the outside, I get my composure, and I'm like, well, you know, we can both go together and check the upstairs. And so he gets a candle, and perhaps we could go close a few windows. And we walk upstairs together, and I'm right behind him. And as we get up there and close everything up, it is all perfect. And then he comes with me to my little pigeon house where I just sit down and I fall asleep, and he's still there. And I ask him to say goodnight to me, which he does. And, oh man, you know, he doesn't just leave. A little more happens, but that's all I'm saying.
Mr. Pontellier has some very strong words for his wife.
Well, as you know, Edna is currently at her family's house in Kentucky. These days, I don't even know who I married. It seems like it's been so long since I married the woman of my dreams. I can't understand her, and she can't understand me. The last time I even saw her happy was at Grand Isle. And I mean, I just don't know what to do. Thankfully, I took the doctor's advice and sent her away. Hopefully it clears her mind. I've been so distracted with Edna's acting that I've been able to focus on my work. Now with her and the kids gone, I can actually focus and do my work. Yesterday, I received a letter in the mail from Edna. Let me open it and see what she has said. To my faithful husband, Leonce, I hope that you are doing well. I have found my life in this place. I have decided that our home is far too large for us, and that we need to move. I have already found a home, and I plan to move into it as soon as possible. I have been so busy and was not able to inform you sooner. How dare this inconsiderate woman make plans without me? Who does she think he is? This is such a blasphemy! I don't know what to do with this woman. Let me write her a letter in response. If she's gonna make changes, let me make sure that the changes I want. Let's pray this letter reaches her before it's too late. How dare she!
When things can't get any weirder, Robert comes back.
I had no idea how Edna would react to my return. All I could hear was someone calling out, "Come in." So I entered the house, just to see Edna staring at me. The first thing that she said was, "Why, Robert?" As we talked a little bit more, she was acting in the most peculiar manner. She was acting cold to me at first. However, as our conversation went on, she was more and more open toward me. More like herself before my trip. I had the feeling that she was closely studying my appearance, looking to see if over the few months I've been gone I had changed at all. And it seems that I have changed very little because she did not continue that. Our conversation then shifted to her inquiring about my lack of letters that I had written to her on my trip, knowing that we both remembered I had promised to write her a letter. Well, I tried to explain to her that the letters that I was writing to others would not interest her at all, but I do not believe she bought this, as she did not seem convinced in the slightest. Seeing the time, I said, "Excuse me, but I must be going." However, Edna was very, very insisting on walking me out and seeing me home. Seeing no way out of this predicament, I agreed to the company.
With Robert back, but Adele having his little thing with Edna. Let's see who gets the last laugh.
So I have been so sick recently, and I decided to invite Edna over for a shindig and just kind of general get together. But Edna was weird when she came over, and even worse, she just barely talked and looked at me with some weird disgust. So I was really dealing with my maid though. My maid was really being she was not being very nice. And so I decided that I was just gonna just ignore her and not go to my room and just generally sit and talk to Edna and do that instead. And it ended up being alright, but Edna was acting really weird since Robert and her recently have been having that thing. And I really think that that thing might be affecting her mental health. And so I really hope that she might need to get some mental health expert advice. But yeah, I think she's been ignoring her children more, and she needs help.
With all these hot takes from all these different perspectives, what will happen next week on Keeping Up with the Pontelliers?